Humanity harbors within itself individuals whose physical or mental characteristics transcend established norms. Whether it be genetic feats, resilience in the face of trauma, or extreme body modifications, these individuals continually redefine the boundaries of the possible. Number 10. The story of Johnny Quinn, originally from Millington, Tennessee, is a poignant testimony to survival and human resilience. At just 4 years old, his life was turned upside down during a devastating house fire. The fire started in a shed behind the family home after a candle was accidentally knocked over. Within minutes, flames engulfed the young boy. His sister, Leah, showed incredible courage by pulling him from the blaze, but the damage was already catastrophic. Johnny suffered burns on over 95% of his body. Doctors placed him in a medically induced coma for months, fearing he would not survive his initial injuries. Throughout his life, he has endured between 80 and 100 surgical procedures, spending countless hours in physical therapy. Beyond the physical scars, Johnny had to face intense emotional torment, struggling with depression, mockery, and suicidal thoughts related to his appearance. However, he refused to let himself be defined by his trauma. Today, he considers himself a thriving survivor, using his experience to inspire others and advocate for self-acceptance. His dream of becoming a professional model aims to shake up conventional beauty standards, proving that true identity lies in inner strength and the ability to transform pain into a universal message of hope for all who suffer. Number 9. In Nepal, in the remote district of Baglung, we meet Romesh Dargi, an 11-year-old boy nicknamed the Stone Child by the inhabitants of his region. Only a few days after his birth, his skin began to peel away, giving way to thick, hard, and scaly patches. This abnormal process progressively transformed his body, making his skin rigid and limiting his mobility to the point of giving him the appearance of a stone statue. Doctors diagnosed a severe form of ichthyosis, a rare genetic disorder characterized by extreme thickening of the epidermis. This condition plunged Romesh into constant pain, preventing him from walking normally and confining him to his home. His family, living in extreme poverty, initially lacked the means to fund appropriate care. Fortunately, thanks to global media attention, a charitable aid effort allowed for his admission to the Kathmandu Medical College. There, specialists are attempting to remove the keratin plaques and improve his mobility through intensive therapies. Romesh's story illustrates a silent resilience in the face of a pathology that seems to imprison the spirit in an armor of inflexible skin. But human solidarity now offers him a chance for a more dignified life. Number 8. In a totally different register, Tim Cridland, better known by the stage name Zamora the Torture King, pushes the limits of sensory perception. This performer is famous for performing acts that most people would find unbearable. He pierces himself with skewers, walks on hot coals, swallows sabers, and lies on beds of nails. What fascinates scientists is that Tim seems to feel no pain during his public demonstrations. Although he has never received a formal diagnosis of congenital insensitivity to pain, researchers who have studied his nervous system suggest that he possesses an exceptionally high tolerance threshold. For Tim, his feats are not optical illusions, but demonstrations of the absolute mastery of the mind over the body. He trained himself mentally and physically from a very young age to dissociate the physical sensation from the signal of suffering sent to the brain. By transforming his body into a living laboratory, Tim proves that the mechanisms of pain are still largely mysterious and that will can sometimes short-circuit the body's reflex biological responses, opening fascinating perspectives on mental control. Number 7. The story of Rory Curtis, a talented former British footballer, explores the unpredictable twists of the human brain following a violent trauma. In 2012, at the age of 25, Rory was the victim of a serious road accident involving 6 vehicles on the M42 motorway. Suffering from a massive brain hemorrhage, he remained in a coma for 6 days. Upon waking, a stunning phenomenon occurred. Rory began speaking fluent French, a language he had not studied seriously since his high school years. Even stranger, he was convinced, for a time, that he was the Hollywood actor Matthew McConaughey. Neurologists believe his brain lesions triggered what is known as foreign language syndrome, unlocking dormant memory zones or reorganizing linguistic circuits in an unexpected way. Although his fluency in French faded over time, this incident radically changed his perspective on life. Rory abandoned his sports career to become a barber, favoring a more serene existence anchored in reality. His case remains one of the most fascinating examples of brain plasticity and how a shock can release unsuspected cognitive abilities. Number 6. Stephen Wiltshire, nicknamed the Human Camera, possesses an artistic talent that defies the classic laws of visual memory. Diagnosed with autism during his childhood, Stephen long had difficulty communicating through speech, finding drawing to be his unique means of expression. His phenomenal ability consists of observing a complex urban landscape just once and reproducing it from memory with absolute architectural precision. In 2009, after a flight of only 45 minutes over Rome, he drew a complete panorama of the city, including every window, every alleyway, and every historical monument without a single error. His works, depicting metropolises like Tokyo, New York, or London, are exhibited worldwide. Stephen does not just draw. He records massive visual data that he reproduces with almost supernatural fidelity. His journey shows how neurodivergence can translate into a specific genius, transforming a perceived handicap into a major artistic contribution to humanity, proving that the human mind can function like a high-precision scanner. Number 5. The transformation of Justin Jedlicka, known worldwide as the Human Ken, raises questions about aesthetics and personal identity. Unlike those who seek to correct a minor flaw, Justin considers his own body as an artistic canvas in perpetual evolution. Having undergone his first rhinoplasty at the age of 18, he has since accumulated more than 1,000 cosmetic procedures. His current appearance is the result of custom implants he often designs himself for his shoulders, chest, abs, and arms. For Justin, plastic surgery is not a simple medical procedure, but a form of radical self-expression aimed at achieving an ideal of sculptural and futuristic perfection. Although his detractors accuse him of promoting toxic beauty standards or suffering from body dysmorphia, he fully embraces his approach. He rejects the idea of appearing natural, preferring to become a living, artificial work of art. His philosophy rests on the idea that the body is not a biological fatality, but a medium that can be modeled according to one's own creative vision, thus defying the conventional expectations of modern society. Number 4. In Russia, Kirill Tereshin attracted the world's attention for a much darker and more controversial reason. Nicknamed Popeye because of his disproportionate arms, this young man massively injected synthol, a muscle-filling oil, into his biceps to obtain instant volume without prolonged physical effort. What began as a quest for social media fame quickly turned into a medical nightmare. His arms reached monstrous proportions, and the muscle tissue began to necrose, being destroyed by the chemical substance. Doctors warned him that he risked amputation or even death from sepsis. In 2021, Kirill had to undergo several emergency surgeries to remove the damaged tissue and hardened oil. Today, he expresses his regrets and uses his platform to warn against the dangers of extreme body modifications motivated by the search for digital validation. His story is a brutal warning about the excesses of vanity in the internet age and the fragility of the body in the face of artificial substances. Number 3. A striking image often circulates. That of a man lifting a car above his head with apparent ease. This feat, which seems to defy the laws of gravity and human strength, raises many questions. Is it pure strength resulting from titanic training, a moment of exceptional adrenaline, or an unusual genetic predisposition? This type of demonstration blurs the line between the human and the superhuman. It reminds us that the muscular and nervous structure of certain individuals allows them to accomplish feats that science sometimes struggles to explain. These moments of raw power illustrate our fascination with records and physical limits. They show that humanity possesses hidden reservoirs of strength that only manifest under extreme conditions, revealing the latent power of the human locomotor system when pushed to its peak. Number 2. A similar tragic fate befell Valdir Segato, the Brazilian Hulk. Obsessed with the size of his muscles after a period of drug addiction where he had become very thin, Valdir turned to synthol injections to transform his physique. His biceps reached a record size of 23 inches, giving him the silhouette of a cartoon character. Despite repeated warnings from the medical profession regarding the risks of infection and irreversible nerve damage, Valdir continued his perilous practices, claiming he loved the attention and the unique nature of his spectacular appearance. Unfortunately, he died in July 2022, on his 55th birthday, following serious respiratory problems. Although the direct cause of his death was not officially linked to synthol in initial reports, many experts agree that prolonged use of these substances exerted unbearable pressure on his cardiovascular system. His death serves as a reminder of the sometimes mortal price of the quest for artificial glory and the psychological consequences of dysmorphia. Number 1. Robert Bobrotsky, born in Romania in the year 2000, became known as one of the tallest teenagers on the planet, peaking at an incredible height of 2 meters 31, approximately 7 feet 7 inches. Unlike many giants whose growth is due to a pituitary gland disorder, Robert's height is purely genetic, coming from parents who were already very tall. This biological gift led him to the United States to pursue a career in college basketball. However, his extreme stature came with immense physical challenges, notably chronic joint pain and difficulty maintaining a healthy body weight. Although his sports career did not reach the hoped-for NBA heights, Robert found success by exploring cinema, notably appearing in the science fiction film Alien Romulus, where his unique silhouette perfectly served the film's aesthetic. His story illustrates that extraordinary physical traits are as much burdens as they are opportunities, requiring constant mental adaptation to a world that is not designed for such spatial dimensions. Number 11. Moments of unforeseen cases. At the heart of an arid plain, a Herculean feat defies the laws of physics. A colossus with phenomenal musculature lifts a massive bus at arm's length, manifesting absolute raw power. This motionless titan, framed by rural ruins and a threatening sky, embodies a surreal power. Every fiber of his being expresses total dominance, transforming this melancholy landscape into a true theater of timeless human legend. He has created a name for himself, the new Hercules. In your opinion, is this image real or not? Leave your opinion in the comments section. This collection explores the edges of the human condition through 11 portraits of individuals with extraordinary faculties or appearances. From miracles of resilience to genetic mutations and extreme body modifications, these stories question our physical and mental limits. Between science and legend, this text paints a fascinating panorama of human singularity and transcendence.